A major update in the shocking, brutal murder of a Ukrainian refugee on the Charlotte, North Carolina mass transit system. Earlier today, authorities announced that the suspect, DeCarlos Brown Jr., is now being charged federally with one count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, reacted on X, saying, in part, that the murder is a direct result of, quote, failed soft-on-crime policies that put criminals before innocent people, before adding that the DOJ will seek the maximum penalty. She'll weigh in on this. Also, the FBI Director, Kash Patel, weighed in, saying the attacks like this should never, ever happen in America, and noted that the FBI immediately jumped into action to make clear to violent criminals they will not be allowed to walk free any longer. This has to stop. This is madness. When you look at this guy, it's like a turnstile. You know, no bail, defund, dismantle, reimagine the police. It's insane. President Trump also reacting to the horrific murder in a viral video from the Oval Office that the White House posted earlier today. Look at this.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people. Really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country.
14 prior arrests. Today, federal charges came as new footage of the attack and its aftermath was now made public, showing the 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee, Irina, minding her own business, just looking at her phone. And now, by the way, a viewer warning, the next video is disturbing because another video now made public shows the victim immediately, this is hard to look at, immediately after she was stabbed, absolutely terrified, and puts her face in her hands, covering her mouth. Moments later, she collapses to the floor. She dies. We also now have new video of the suspect after he repeatedly stabbed the victim, walking through the train, dripping blood all over the floor. And tonight, the big question is, why was this man with schizophrenia, 14 prior arrests, including for violent offenses like robbery with a dangerous weapon and assault on his own sister, why was he free to roam the streets? You know, calls for the judge who released him with nothing more than a written promise to appear after his last arrest in January to resign are growing after 10 GOP members of the North Carolina House delegation signed a letter demanding her removal. Despite 14 prior arrests, some for violent offenses, a history of severe mental illness, and a lack of a fixed address, they let him go with no bond only 8 short months ago. And, of course, no bail. What about this guy's record made this judge think that this was a good idea? You know, what gave her that confidence that he wouldn't be a threat? Would the judge be happy if this person had moved in next door to her? This is the idiocy of not just judges, but the entire defund, dismantle, no bail law, reimagine police insanity that the left has now embraced and continues to embrace. This young woman should be alive today. Decisions like this undermine confidence in our judicial system. It exposes entire communities to violent repeat offenders. Now, Charlotte's liberal mayor also rightly facing a backlash for her initial statement on the murder, in which she called for compassion for the alleged murderer, saying that this tragic situation sheds light on the mental illness crisis. Now, while adding that mental health is a disease that needs to be treated with the same compassion as heart disease or cancer. Now, after a major backlash, she did release an updated statement yesterday calling this a tragic failure of the courts and the magistrates. Oh, you think? Did it take the public outcry to get you to that point? At least on this one point, she's finally right. Yeah, the system is failing many Americans spectacularly. In this case, they have failed spectacularly. They failed this innocent young woman with her entire life in front of her. The bigger problem is the left-wing mindset that is fueling all of this and failing all of us. And then to make matters worse, the left-wing media mob, what do you think they did? They jumped all over the opportunity to accuse Republicans of trying to politicize this horrific murder of an innocent girl reading her phone on tape. You know, the hypocrisy from the left is at an all-time high. Take a look. Let's go to fake news CNN. I thought this guy got fired. Humpty Dumpty and Aaron Burnett and what they said. Take a listen.
Most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's garnered attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, the recent release of that gruesome video. Second, the energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. And it's being used, as you said, Brianna, as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments and more incarceration. I have to say, some of the replies to Musk, some of the comments around this story are baldly racist, stoking fear of African Americans because this man attacked a white woman.
And horrific new video of a Ukrainian refugee's murder caught on camera. It is absolutely horrific. Trump is now seizing on this to push his nationwide crackdown.
How would they feel if it was their relative, their daughter, their niece, you know, somebody that they cared about in their life? Fake news CNN is just a repulsive cesspool of idiots and, frankly, politically biased fools. Many print headlines, they were just as bad. Take a look at this one from Politico. Quote, Ukrainian refugee killed in North Carolina gets dragged into political messaging war. Or this one from Axios, stabbing video fuels MAGA's crime message. And no list would be complete without the New York Times that said a gruesome murder in North Carolina ignites a firestorm on the right. If you have a heart, conscience, and soul, and you look at that, does it not move you to compassion? Does it not motivate you to want to fix what is going wrong? Whatever happened to the left-wing mantra, lives matter? I guess for them, lives in Chicago, lives in L.A., lives in New York City, and now apparently North Carolina don't matter, because they can't weaponize murder to attack Donald Trump, Republicans, conservatives. And during today's White House press briefing, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called out the left-wing media mob for their coverage, or lack thereof, of this horrific murder. Take a look.
This monster should have been locked up, and Arena should still be alive. But Democrat politicians, liberal judges, and weak prosecutors would rather virtue signal than lock up criminals and protect their communities. And perhaps most shamefully of all, the majority of the media, many outlets in this room, decided that her murder was not worth reporting on originally because it does not fit a preferred narrative. Many of the journalists in this room spilled plenty of ink trying to smear Daniel Penny for defending a subway car from a deranged lunatic in New York City, but none of those same reporters lift a finger to write stories about an actual murderer.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.